What's good, y'all? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, aka Petey Mac. Man, get on up here, pull you up one, light you up one, kick your shoes off, relax, baby. You around family, we on the porch. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's do this. What's good, everybody? It's your country cousin Pete McCorvey, aka Petey Mac, and welcome back to the porch. Hey man, I am on cloud 9 on the porch this week, man. Oh my goodness, I had a hell of a good Labor Day weekend, man. I'm on cloud 9, man, and I'm explaining to y'all why I'm on cloud 9, because this past weekend, especially Saturday, I just could not. Something happened that I'm still riding high on it, man. Let me get to it. I know I'm bumbling, almost having a Porky Pig moment, but yeah, we're gonna get right into it. And yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm at a loss for words, but in a good way. All right, we opened up, had some new music. First album, I didn't really know about this album. I just had to go on Spotify and, went down a rabbit hole. Because like I've told y'all before, Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora, and used to be SoundCloud, that's the new digging in the crates. Like if you go to a record shop and you just dig in the crates for like vinyls, tapes, CDs or whatnot, that's what Spotify is. It's a rabbit hole. Found out that D-Smoke, y'all know D-Smoke, he he's a rapper. He's Sir's brother, Inglewood Sir. Some of y'all may know that's his brother. He released a new album called Wake Up Sugar. On that album, he had La Russell, he had Snoop, Lucky Day, BJ the Chicago Kid, many more. And man, that thing rolled perfectly, man. You can definitely tell that he is Sir's brother, because they both like on the same wavelength. Just Sir's with the R&B. D-Smoke is with hip-hop, or rap, whatever you may call it. But this is the one thing I want to know, though. Where was Sir on the album? We didn't hear Sir on that album. And kind of left me scratching my head. I don't think that they beefing or not, anything like that, because I see them in a lot of projects together. You definitely can tell they brothers. Them dudes, they almost look like they could be twins or something. But maybe I think what it is they respect each other's like individuality. It's like, look, you got your shit you work on, I got my shit I work on. Nothing against you, but I don't want to get to piggyback off your shit, and you may not want to piggyback off mine. Like I said, that's probably what they was doing. Album still ride. I thought it was a great album. Definitely got repeatability to it. Next one, we go down by my way to the Gulf Coast. We go down to New Orleans. That boy Currency, aka Spitter, he released the album called 830, for the date that it was released, August 30th. He had, of course, surprise, Wiz Khalifa feature on it. He had Killer Kid from the Ville, Killer Mike was on it. Harry Fraud was on it. Ellie Dollar, I need to stop. Ooh, I always mess that man's name up. And then he also had one of the Philly OG on there, the old bull. I know they call cats from Philly young bull. He had Freeway on that joint, and many more. It was, regular Spitter music. He's in that same wavelength with Larry June, AJ Snow, Daniel Payne, that little wavelength they got. So I thought it was good. Definitely it has re-listenability too. And speaking of AJ Snow, finally got to listen to his album. It released Monday morning on, I think Labor Day, the actual Labor Day. And I wasn't even really paying attention, but it's a collaboration album with AJ Snow, Cool Kid Calvo, and Jan Sport J, and it's called Tomorrow We Eat Steak. And boy, that thing was like 10 tracks, 30 minutes of just player vibes. Like lifestyle music, man. It was just, hey man, like I said once, I said twice, and I'll say it again. AJ Snow is up there becoming one of my new favorite rappers, man. Cause like, even though he from like Texas, he kind of got a West Coast vibe. But you know what? Let me put it this way. Let's clear up something. A lot of people think, oh, you like California music because you know G-Funk. Y'all need to go back and do y'all research because there's a few songs from the G-Funk era that came from Texas. Two of them, one was from UGK, and that's front, back, side to side. Literally talking about a 6'4" Impala on switches. And the second one is I Seen a Man Die by Scarface. Actually reading a book. It's called Straight Out of Long Beach. It's about the history and like all the pieces of what makes G-Funk G-Funk. And the author, Miles Gent, he said the top 10 songs that should be in the Die Hard G-Funk's playlist. And coming in at like in the top 5 of that list was I Seen a Man Die by Scarface. Also, speaking of Texas, man. Hey man, we talking about Texas. We finna go down here to Texas because we finna talk about some college football. So let's jump right on into it. College football, while that day was a great day, it ended. It's like I said, it started with kind of a sad thing because Lee Corso, aka Coach, he did his final broadcast for game day. And it's just, man, it's like ever since I've been watching college football, playing NCAA football back in the day on PS2, you've always had Coach, Lee Corso. And you always hear, not so fast, my friends. And you see Lee Corso putting on the mascot hat. But this was sad because this was Coach's last go round for the go round, man. But the good thing about it was he picked the right people. And the funny thing was the people he picked in the game they were covering Saturday, go back to when he first started doing game day in 95, and that was the exact same team, Ohio State. So it kind of like it all came together in that bookend, man. But it was like, it's the end of an era, man. All I can say is, Coach, thank you for all the memories, man. But it's been a hell of a ride, man. Can't believe 30 years. That was 30 years. Because, like, used to be look at 1995. You say, like, 20 years. I remember when 1995 was 10 years ago. Then it hit, like, damn, it's 20. And now we like, shit, that was 30 years ago. Oh, my goodness, man. But, yeah, he gave us great 30 years. And I also saw this. This was a great send-off. They said that every school that Lee Corso either played at or coached won their games for the opening of college football season. So that was, hey man, if that ain't a beautiful send-off for a legend, I don't know what is. So first of all, like I said, Lee Corso picked Ohio State to win against Texas, and they beat them 14-7. Number 3, Ohio State took down number 1 Texas. Now, this is what bothers me about that. I'm trying to figure out how Ohio State was number 3 and Texas was number 1. when Ohio State are the defending national champs. That was a slap in the face to them. I just don't, and I think the reason why is because of Arch Manning. They boosted up and gave him all that, and boy, ooh, they letting Arch Manning have it. Man, he got exposed. I think at the end of the first half, he only had 50 something yards passing, but he did end up finishing the game going 17 for 30 for 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and threw 1 pick. And he got 38 yards on 10 rushes. So they called him for him. They said, man, this boy exposed. And you know what? I hate to say it because I love the man, especially Peyton. Peyton's my favorite quarterback of all time. But I think it's some nepotism. Even when you was listening to the commentators, boy, the commentators was hopping up and down on that boy Jock like a diving board. I was like Riley on that episode of the Boondocks when Dr. King came out. His comment, get off his dick, man. Like, for real, they were just all up on them. So I am so glad that Ohio State got their vindication, because you know that was a blatant screw you to them, and they didn't won the national title last year. But you got them coming in number 3 just because this boy's last name is Manning, and both of his uncles are 2-time Super Bowl champs. So yeah, Ohio State say cool story, bro. Yeah, we'll take that back from y'all. Appreciate it. Another game that was a big game. It's always a big game. It's a clash of the Tigers, and no matter which stadium is in, it's gonna be a battle. That is number 4 Clemson versus number 9 LSU, and LSU pulled it off at Clemson 17-10. And it's, you know what I'm saying, those games are always down to the wire. But those are just games to be at. That's like the game. Like, I'm going to be honest, anytime college football season starts, I'm going to always find myself trying to see if they do end up playing each other the first game of the season. I'm always going to sit there and watch that Clemson LSU game, because they gonna go to war every time, and that's like 10-17. That means that game came down the wire. That's a score. That's a touchdown, you know. But the game that I am happy about, and the reason why I was ecstatic when we came into this, because I was not expecting it. The Florida State Seminoles, my Florida State Seminoles, who are unranked, knocked off number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide. They knocked them off 31-17 at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Whoa, boy, I could not believe it, because let me tell y'all something. I did not see this happen at all. I'm a diehard FSU fan, and y'all know this about me, because y'all remember listening to the podcast last season, and I was just like, I sound like I was gonna cry in the car. But matter of fact, I even called one of my line brothers Jamarcus. He's from Tuscaloosa, so of course you know he's a diehard Bama Crimson Tide fan. And I called him before, and I say, look, man, I'm calling to wish you congratulations. We tell you congratulations and all that, because I know y'all gonna whoop us. He was like, man, come on. They said, all right, now, if they pull it out, I said, I don't want to hear nothing you calling me, nothing like. I said, man, I doubt that's gonna happen. I said, but if they do, you have my word, I ain't gonna call you nothing like that. And sure enough, at the end of the game, when that clock hit 0 in with a fourth quarter and it was 31-17, I had to make sure I keep my promise. I ain't call him, but I did call a bunch of them other Bama fans, and I did text a bunch of them, and I didn't say nothing. I ain't text him, I ain't call him, but I did tag him in some posts. You know, like one of our other line brothers, my quad Leventurous, he had put up a status because our college, University of South Alabama, won. I think Auburn won, and Bama lost. So he was like, "It's a good day," and I had like left a comment. I said, yeah, I promised Jamar, because I mentioned his name, that I wasn't going to call him or nothing like that. So I'm going to keep my promise. And another one of our frat brothers, he was a neophyte of ours, Jamar, said, man, you could just say something. I said, no, I said I wasn't going to call him. I'm texting. I said, I wasn't going to say I wasn't going to tag him on social media now. And then I put up that gif of Denzel Washington and the Mighty Quinn, you know, when he turned around and he looking like he drunk, but he got that sly look on his face. That's the one I put up, man. So yeah, I'm just Florida State, but hey, the person who did it for Florida State, for me, that defense, big ups to that defense, but hey, they new quarterback, Tommy Castellanos. Tommy Castellanos. I'm gonna say this. That boy right there, him. Like that song, Timothy Hernandez, that's that boy new theme song, Timothy Hernandez. And this is a testament, shout out to Florida State's running game, because he only went 9 for 14 for 152 yards. You know, so, and then he didn't get no passing TD, but he did get a rushing TD. And he got 72 yards on 19 attempts. So that boy is, he the future for Florida State. I'm happy, man. Like, y'all don't understand how ecstatic, because from us going from being 2-10, getting our jawline tore out every year last season, and then we got cheated out the playoffs in 2023, and then Georgia mollywopped us like 63-3 in that game. It just, Florida State just, we've had our heads down low for a couple years, but this right here, I ain't gonna say we back, but hey, we beat Bama, and that is okay with me. Oh my God. Now moving on to high school football, you know. So Mater Day played St. Thomas Aquinas last week and won 23-20. So it's somebody that Mater Day used to have a series with, a football series with all the time. It's also, well, it used to be, I don't know about now, that's fellow Southern California football powerhouse, LA County high school football powerhouse, Long Beach Poly. You know that name because that is where Snoop Dogg always reps his high school he graduated from. That's where Cameron Diaz went to. If you've seen the movie Brian Banks, that's where that guy went to. They had a documentary called Fourth and Long where they followed them for a season. Matter of fact, speaking of Long Beach Poly, like, it's a very funny story that Cameron Diaz claimed that she thinks she bought some weed from Snoop Dogg. She wasn't quite sure. But they went and played San Diego Lincoln High School, which, if you're familiar with the rapper Mitchie Slick, he from that area and all that. And San Diego Lincoln is actually the two-time back-to-back defending state champs. And it showed that they the back-to-back state champ, and it showed that Long Beach Poly has fell off because they beat, like, Lincoln beat Poly 36-20, and I think Lincoln must took their foot off the gas because the game started out, they hung 29 points on them boys' head in the first quarter alone. Like, matter of fact, the first kick to start the game, kick 6, right off the bat for Lincoln. I don't know what is going on. Like I said, I used to, now granted, I'm mad because, you know, I used to live in San Diego, and I've always said I wanted to see like so it's two teams I wanted to see while I was there. They LA teams, high schools. I said I always wanted to go to a Crenshaw Cougars basketball game and a Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits football game. Even though now, since I've been out there, they both fell off, but it just still, you know, growing up, seeing them in movies and TV, you still gonna want to see that. But yeah, it was, I don't know what is going on. Like, Lincoln looked like they about to win the third title. And Long Beach, I need to get it together. I think they coach is his first year. I don't think Buddy if Buddy don't make a turnaround, he may not have a job next year. So, yeah, but now we're going to move down onto my area. High school football. So where I'm from, there's a big rivalry. Two neighboring towns. I lived in both of them. That's Moss Point and Pascagoula. You got your Moss Point Tigers and your Pascagoula Panthers. Now I'm mixed because I went to my first 2 years of high school in Moss Point, and I did my last 2 years, and I graduated in Pascagoula. No, so that game is a big rivalry. I lean more towards Moss Point because I went to from kindergarten to 10th grade. I lived there from kindergarten to 10th grade. So I got more love for Moss Point than I do for Pascagoula. Be honest with you, I didn't even want to transfer to Pascagoula. My parents made me do it. But Pascagoula beat Moss Point in the season opener, 47-0. And they have said over the last 3 years, Pascagoula has hung a total of 126 points on Moss Point without them returning fire, meaning they haven't scored nothing. Over the past 3 years, it's been 126-0. Like I said, I growing up, Moss Point was one of them guys. They were them guys. So to see them fall from grace like this, like at one point in time, when the highest classification was 5A in Mississippi, they had the most state titles, and then a team from northern Mississippi called the South Panola Tigers started running the table. But to see Moss Point go from being what was once a state powerhouse and feared in like the region I'm talking about, like other states like Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida, to now that just everybody want them for homecoming. This is sad. Just I don't know what's got to go on. Just I gotta hang my head on this one, man. Moss Point, keep your head up, man. Play hard, kids. Cause this is gonna be a long ass season for y'all. Alright, man. I don't really have too much like news, like whether movies, what's going on with like celebrities going on around the country, or politics, anything like that, which I really don't get. I don't really get into politics. I'm just gonna talk about something that I've noticed. So I've noticed in me doing comedy. Y'all know me. Y'all know I've been doing comedy since 2010. You know, I perform a lot of places. I've performed under some famous people. I performed with some famous people. I met some famous people. Like y'all know, I've done comedy from me starting doing comedy when I was a junior at the University of Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, to me moving to Atlanta for a year some change before I joined the Navy. Then me doing comedy in like Southern California, you know, mainly in San Diego area. Sometimes I hit Orange County, sometimes I hit LA County, but not like that. To me, doing comedy in Pacific Northwest, and pretty much been doing comedy in Pacific Northwest, able to do it like mainly Tacoma, but sometimes Seattle, done some stuff in the Bay Area, like not enough to really like put my chest out about, but I've done it. And I've noticed doing comedy, you run into some comedians who just are not the greatest people. They bring discord, negative energy. They just shitty fucking people. Let me just put it there. They just shitty people. And I kind of narrowed it down to like 7. And I'm going to give you the 7 type of comedians that are the worst, and that if anybody is listening is aspiring stand-up comedian, once you recognize it, stay the hell away from them. Number 1. This is the douchebag comedian. The douchebag comedian, he's one of them guys who think, oh, I'm going to be a complete jerk, and that makes him edgy. Like if he think you new on the scene, he'll just say some disrespectful shit. Sometimes it might be racist. It's gonna be very offensive, and he gonna think that makes him funny. He gonna look off and smile and not realize I will knock your fucking head off. Or he might even come at the crowd wrong. And 9 times out of 10, they say it's a punk ass white dude. It's gonna be a punk ass white dude. And the thing is, he does that because here's the thing you learn about, well, at least a lot of white comedians, because you usually run into these in like the white comic circles. He gets a pass for that because a lot of white comedians, they're real passive aggressive. They don't really have a backbone, so they let shit slide. So he knows he's gonna get a pass if you say something. He's usually a loser who ain't got no job worth a damn if he is employed. Dresses garbage, can't get laid, obviously stays broke because he ain't got no job. And the last thing you're gonna know, and this is the most obvious one about it, he ain't funny. He ain't funny. He's one of them people that get on your nerve because the thing is, when you say something to him, he's going, oh, you're being angry, or you're facing the angry black man, whatever. I don't know, fuck all that. Because his thing about me, I don't care about being no angry black man. Because his thing about an angry black man, you won't fuck with him after you see how he about. So yeah, that's the number one. Number two, this is the awkward comedian. You know, they just the straight up weirdo. You know, they don't got no sense of style. 9 times out of 10, they usually unattractive. And sometimes couple with that, they got real bad hygiene. They ain't got no self-awareness. Like, they don't realize I can't do this type of stuff, or I can do that. Oh, I can do that. I can do that with other. I'm like, bro, you're not strong enough. They don't want to listen to nobody. And the thing that kills me about them, they get on stage and think, oh, I'm socially awkward. That's going to make me funny. People find this funny. No, we don't. We just see a fucking weirdo up there for 5 minutes talking, and none of us know what the hell is going on. And like, I'm going to tell you this. And just like the douchebag comedian, they usually are not funny either. And yeah, that's what's the thing that's going on. Number 3 is the honeypot comedian. I hate the honeypot comedian because, number one, the honeypot comedian, this is a female. It's a female comedian. And it's not that she's female, I hate it. Let me explain why. She is a very attractive woman. No, she's attractive. She's self-aware that she's attractive. But here's the thing about her. She is terrible. Her comedy is not funny at all. She just gets by because she is so beautiful. And she expects everybody to laugh at her because she's attractive. Like, she'll tell a joke that ain't got no punchline, but you'll have some of them dudes that will just laugh because they're trying to get next. And she knows that, like that. And then, she one of them, also another thing they do, they tend to come into the club and think people gonna move mountains for them because they're attractive. They have no point of not giving, because this is the thing I'm saying, a lot of comedians, more than a lot want to admit, they're not good with the ladies. They're not good with the ladies. So anytime ladies show them some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some attention, they're gonna jump at it. And she knows that, and they think they can do that. Like, I had one incident. I was at a club, and this chick that called herself comedian, she just left her purse. She got up and she was sitting next to me. First of all, she kept trying to say something to me, give me the bite and flirt. I'm like, girl, gone. And I'm trying to watch the show, and she studied trying to talk to me. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to flirt with you. I'm trying to watch the show. Like, go somewhere. And she left her purse and just got up and walked off. And I'm sitting there like, I know she don't call herself leaving her purse thinking I'm going to watch it. So I got up and I went to the bathroom. I come back, she was mad like, so you just left my purse there? How could you just leave my purse? First of all, you didn't ask me to watch your purse. Well, I left. I said, no. I said, sweetheart, all these other dudes want to jump on that because you fine. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because I know you're not going to give me any play. So you don't sit something down and then you expect me to do that. That ain't how that work at all. No. You ask me. I said, I'm from the South. I believe in manners and courtesy. You don't assume shit. I say when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me is laughing at you, because you don't make no ass out of me and you. You made an ass out of you and me is laughing at you. So, you know, they just, ooh Lord, they hurt my nerves. They wanted that. Now, number 4. Sometimes the 4th comedian I'm about to mention, sometimes they can be like number 3. That's the honey pot. But I've seen sometimes they not, and usually that's some people take advantage of this woman's low self-esteem sometimes. And number 4 is a comedian I can't stand. That's the slutty comedian. Oh my God! Every joke, it's a female, not something. Every joke she got is about sex. Soon as she get up there, first word, my pussy, my vagina, like, oh my God. And they kind of like the honey pot. They know like I said, they just go around guys, and then they'll come around and they'll just like rile you up. Like you'll mention, like just talk to them. Like soon as she walk up, like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Be better if I had a dick in my mouth. Like, God, why? Why do you have to say that? I knew a female that used to do that all the time. A female comic used to do that all the time. And I would walk off. And it's like, bro, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, damn, it's all you lead with. And I'm going to tell you the guys on the truth. I actually, ended up, how can I put this without being vulgar? Like Lil Wayne say, lick like a lollipop. She licked me like a lollipop. I had to give a ride home. So she needed a ride home. I was like, okay, get a ride home. And I wasn't tripping on that because I just got paid. The Navy just paid me like that day. So I'm like, I can take it home. She said she'd give me gas, but I'm like, all right. But I wasn't tripping, like I said, because I just got paid. So halfway through, she starts, to do like the song Lollipop by Lil Wayne. And I realized she was doing that because she ain't had no gas money. And I was like, oh, she ain't got no money, so she figured she'd do this, I'ma forget. But I wasn't tripping, so I just like, all right, whatever. And something, wasn't even that good. Dude just fall over because she was dope. That's the only thing about it. But the thing about her, I want you fellas who, like you young comics, try to avoid her and stay away from her, because if you do end up engaging in some sexual activity with her, you need to be careful, because 9 times out of 10, if she gets mad, she can holler sexual assault. I've seen it happen plenty of times. Fuck up guys' comedy career. So stay away from them. And like I said, once I peep that a chick is that slutty comedian, I try to keep my distance. They be like, you act like you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to be bothered. What have I done to you? Why don't you like me? You a walking court case. So please stay away from me. Now, number 5. This is one of them I can't really stand. I really don't like this comic. And it's another one of the comics that I really don't like. But this one and the one I'm going to tell you the other one. They are like number 1 and number 2 on my hit list, because I can't stand them. This one, number 5, is the Sellout comic. The Sellout comic is a black comedian who wants to fit in with white comedians so bad. Like, especially if you in a predominantly white comedy scene, they want to fit in with them so bad. And number 1, they usually not accepted by, I'm going to say, I hate to say this because the black experience is not monolithic, but like normal, quote unquote, black folks, they not accepted by them. And so they shit on anything that's like black culture, anybody who like has like what they deem as blatant blackness. Like, for instance, like if you a black comedian that like kind of got some flavor about you, as I say, they'll blatantly show disrespect towards you. And they think that makes them fit in. Like, I remember when I was in Pensacola, I was, I went up, did this open mic, getting back in the scene, cause you know, like, a lot of stuff has changed on like a lot of small scenes, especially with like social media and stuff. You don't have like strong small scenes like you did when I first started because of social media. And I'm starting to learn my way, get around, go to these mics, and I'm getting there. And the only other person is a black chick, but she's like one of them ones, like, so like she tried to single me out, and like as one of her jokes, like doing crowd work, try to single me out, and she ended up making herself look like a fool because I was like, and the way my retort made her look more foolish, and people laughed at me, you know. Or then when I went to another mic somewhere, I'm talking to everybody outside, all the other comics talking to me, she won't say two words to me, and then I had my spot on the open mic, and this guy comes in, and he like really doesn't do comedy. He does magic, like magic tricks and all that. Cool guy. So I'm sitting there waiting my turn, been waiting all night. And he does a pop-up, and I'm sitting there waiting. And he was like, well, I just want to pop in and say, yeah, mom. And she's like, no, he can pop in, go and do your thing. Go and do. I'm like, bitch, I've been waiting here all night. And just blatantly just forgot I was there. And I'm sitting there like, what? You know, but she ain't the only one, but it was just the latest one I had. It was just like, wow. It's like, what kind of Uncle Tom Negro bedwind shit you on? Like, just blatantly saw me waiting to go up and just blatantly pushed me out the way so this white guy can just get on stage. I was just like, this is some bullshit. And the last thing they do, 9 times out of 10 they usually will use nigga at will in front of white comedians and white crowd. They just be just saying it like it's like I'm just like, oh hell nah, you making them too comfortable, and they just be shucking and jiving and, you know, just tap dancing for white approval. I don't like them at all. Like, they make my ass itch profusely. Number 6. This guy is one of the most annoying people. And it's not necessarily guys, it can be females too. But that is the punch-up comedian. For those of y'all know what the term punch-up means. Punch-up is like when you got a joke to, you know, and it hits, to make it hit even more, you call it punching up. Like, some comedians be like, hey man, look, that joke was cool, but you need to say this, and oh shit, and then people like, oh man, you added that to a yell. Such and such helped me punch that up. This person is always telling you how to punch up shit, and it's usually a comedian. Like I said, they always don't matter. You could have had a standing ovation. They gonna come at you, yeah, what you need to do with this one, you know, they always got a suggestion about how to make your jokes better. Like I'm saying, the crowd, like, you got a joke to have people rolling out, they see it's your signature joke. You might even I've had this happen. I've had somebody say, hey man, do this joke for me. I do it. And this person like, well, I think it'll be better than I said. That's crazy because somebody in the audience told me to do that. So obviously it's good where it is. And the funny thing is, you want to know what's funny about those comedians? 9 times out of 10, they usually suck. Like, they ain't even got no jokes they can use a punch up because none of their jokes are good. None of their jokes give anybody a chuckle. Matter of fact, they talking about punch up. None of their jokes got love taps on them. And I'm going to be honest, one comedian comes to mind when I was in San Diego. He used to always do this every show. I'm like, bro, I've never seen you get up there and kill. Never. And was always trying to holler this, that, and the third, trying to holler they was so hood, and they from Oakland, they from the Bay, I like, motherfucker, nothing about you scream Bay Area. Stop it. And I get back to San Diego like in 2023. You know, I left San Diego 2017, came back 2020. It was COVID, so go rid of it. But I got back from Washington State to San Diego 2023. Go hit up an open mic at one of the clubs. This guy is up on the open mic, still open micing, hadn't moved up, still sucking. And I'm gonna tell you what was one of the funniest things that happened. So when I got to San Diego, my first tour, I got cool with a couple comedians, like a handful of comedians I was cool with. 3 of the ones I got cool with, one was my boy Joe Robbie. Joe Schmo, as I call him. He former Marine. He from out there. Me and him, it's almost like my brother, you know, sometimes, you know, even though he wild kid, he did the most sometimes. Love him to death. I got cool with this one guy named Mike DeVore. He's a former, he was in the Navy at the time. He's out of the Navy now. Lives in Washington State, actually. Ran into him up there. Actually was the first person to reach out and tell me about the scene there. And matter of fact, me and him, because of him, I went to LA and was able to go to the Comedy Store and see Leslie Jones, Bill Burr, and Bobby Lee just pop in at the Comedy Store. Still think about that night to this day. And the last one was my dude, Trevor Anderson. Trevor was in the Navy as well. He's out of the Navy now. He moved to LA. I don't know if he's still in LA or not. I know he's in the Southern California region. Got married, had a couple kids. But Trevor was cool with me because Trevor was a white guy who got it. Like, even when I first got there, he was like, we need more ethnicity on the scene. And then it was one comedian who had said something about me online, which was a past aggressive, and Trevor was the only real one who stepped up and said something. So shout out to Trevor. And then, matter of fact, Trevor helped me out. That script I wrote, he was the only one who I sent it to him, and he was like, hey bro, work on this and work on that to make it better, because right now it's good, but it's too detailed, and the page count that's gonna get it thrown out, because he actually went to film. So shout out to Trevor. And so Trevor pops up at the open mic. Hadn't seen Trevor in almost like 7 years. Trevor pops up. We see the guy I'm talking about. And what I feel, that, like I said, the punch-up comic who ain't never got a chuckle, Trevor walks up to him and he says it jokingly, but I know Trevor was being real, because, you know, sailors, we got an asshole language, dude. He shook the man's hand and said, what's up? You still bombing in open mics? And the dude thought he was joking, but I knew Trevor was being 100%. I shout out to Trevor, man. Love Trevor to death, man. But those type of guys right there. Now the last comedian I'm gonna talk about. This is a comedian. It's like I said, the sellout comedian and this comedian are the two I hate. This comedian is the one I hate because I seem to run into them a lot. And nobody likes them. They get on everybody's nerves, and this person don't understand. You need to sit down and shut the fuck up, because people really don't like you. And this is the social justice warrior comedian. This one is the one who doesn't want anybody to be offended. You can't tell no jokes. They almost the joke police. Like, oh, you said this in reference to gay people. You said this in reference to people with mental handicaps. You said this with people who physically disabled. And you talked about the kids. And you talked about this. You talked about animal. Man, if you don't sit your ass down, was it funny? Did the crowd respond? Okay, shut up. And 9 times out of 10, this person is usually an unattractive white female. It is what it is. I'm just calling it what it is. I don't get twisted. I've seen some black women do this and some good looking women do. 9 times good looking comedians who do this shit, they do that because they ain't fucking funny and they out there being slutty, and now they want to holler, oh, you're discriminating against me and all that. No, you just was a terrible joke telling slut. That's all it was. But I digress. And just so happen they're feminists most of the time, and they happen to be a member of the alphabet community. Now, when I say the alphabet community, I'm talking about the people who aren't heterosexual, because I'm not going to say that cis shit. It's heterosexual. People who are not heterosexual men or women who are in that community. The reason I say the alphabet community, because they keep adding letters and all that, and I don't want to say the wrong thing and offend them, because I ain't trying to get canceled. So it's not trying to be making fun of them. I always call y'all the alphabet people. She's usually bitter because she's not the honeypot comedian, you know, the one I mentioned that was attractive, who could get by on her attractive, and she wants to be that. She just don't have the looks for that. And here's the thing I've noticed about them: if you tell a joke about any group of people other than straight black men, they offended. Like straight black men, they don't give a fuck about you saying nothing about straight black men. Black women, gay black women, gay white women, children, dog, whatever. But as long as I've noticed, as long as you saying anything, it don't matter what you're saying about straight black men, they don't have a problem. And sometimes it be straight white men too, but that's just because white men don't want them. But it's mainly straight black men they got a problem with. And here's the thing about them, which has been an underlying factor in all these comedians for the most part, with the exception, I'm gonna say maybe the sellout comedian. She ain't funny. She ain't funny. And you know, they always want to try to dictate how you talk and how you do anything. So remember, I had mentioned my boy Trevor. So I had this incident with this terrible white female comedian. She was one who I always thought she was going to speak up for women and this, that, and the third. I had a show with her. I told a joke. She got online and started running my name through the mud. And then she didn't say my name, but she said one of my jokes up there. And then a couple of these little, you know, loser ass comedians who ain't funny, who wanted like her approval because they were trying to think they would get laid, they jumped up. Only reason I found out, like I said, Trevor told me what was going on, and I saw it on her page and she did it. So I got in her inbox and I confronted her. And I said, hey, if you got something you need to say it to me, because I don't appreciate this. She's like, well, if you don't treat women like shit, I don't like this and da 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 da, and I don't like the way you treat women. And I shot back, well, I'm not trying to fuck you, so I don't care how you feel. And she was like, excuse me? I said, oh yeah. I said, baby, I don't care about the opinion of a woman I ain't trying to get with. I said, hell, 9 times out of 10 don't care about the opinion of a woman I am getting with. I said, see, that's your problem. All these dudes out here, they want to get with you. I said, but it's cool. And you want to know what's crazy about this? She was such an advocate for women and all that. Dude, you know how many women I brought, black, white, straight, gay, to her, to the shows I had with her? All of them hated her. Majority, like the dudes didn't understand, but it was always the women who was like, what are you talking? Matter of fact, one of my friends, she hit every wicket of somebody who she is an advocate for. My friend Ashley, gay black woman. Ashley used to always tell me, what in the fuck is she talking about? She sucks. Why do y'all keep putting her on the show? And these are people you're supposed to be going to war for. And that's the type of thing I'm talking about. They just swear that they're social. And I had another incident because I had, quote unquote, when I was my time in Washington, I had got befriended by one of these type of comedians. Just, oh my gosh, she always in the middle of some shit. She's always a victim. Everybody going against her. Like, she did one incident one time, one other female comedian didn't like her. And I'm cool with this female comedian. I'm not going to say her name. Because I remember listening to a podcast that they did last week. Matter of fact, I'm going to name drop the podcast. No, I'm not going to name drop the podcast because then everybody know who I'm talking about. But it's a good podcast. If you can do your context clues, figure it out, y'all need to listen to it. She went up, and I'm cool with this comedian, mind you, that she had beef with. And this comedian actually stood up for me at one of my shows. We had a Karen in the audience, and she stood up and she got on stage with me, said, yeah, that you didn't talk shit to him because he a dude, he ain't gonna say something, but I'm a female, we can get it cracking. She the one the social justice warrior I'm telling you about that posed as a friend, she got up there and decided to, there's a competition. She went up to her in the competition, knowing this woman don't like her, knowing they got beef, and said, hey, good luck to you. And the comedian I'm telling you about that stuck up for me against Karen looks her dead in the face and coming from you, I don't accept that shit. And walked on, went about her business. Then this SJW turns around and like, I don't understand, and did that and the third. I'm like, cause you know that woman don't like you. So why in God's name are you jumping in her face? And it's like, not only this person was a liar. Like, this person lied about everything, said she was from the Bay Area. Found out that wasn't true. Cause come to find out, we posted a flyer. One of my first supervisors in the Navy went to high school with her. And he's from Victorville. That's not the Bay. So I went, I said, man, did you grow up in the Bay? He was like, no, I didn't grow up in the Bay. He said, you know I grew up in Victorville. He said, that's nowhere near the Bay. And then another lie, she said that she was from Long Beach. I mean, she lived in Long Beach. And I'm sitting there like, Long Beach? She like, yeah, I lived in Long Beach and I dated a blood. And I'm like, you dated a blood? Like, did he move to Long Beach? Like, nah, he was a blood from Long Beach. And I was like, okay, the math ain't mathing, because here's the thing a lot of my friends know about me. Even my LA friends will tell you, they like, I got a pretty good knowledge of like LA gang culture, even though I'm not from there. And I was like, that don't sound right. She's like, what? I said, cause there's no blood sets in Long Beach. Long Beach is a Crip city. And she's like, no, he was from, I was like, he wasn't born and raised in Long Beach. I'm like, yeah, you just lying to kick it, which you don't have to lie to kick it. But yeah, I say all that because these 7 comedians, they work my nerves. They really work my nerves. I cannot stand them. They're the bane of my existence. And I'm going to be honest with you. I struggle with this other one. I got an honorable mention type of comedian. This is the hyper gaming comedian. Hyper gaming is when you're trying to status climb. You know, you're looking for a higher status. Those are the ones who will like hang with you. Like if you're a young comic and you thinking like, hey, I'm gonna get cool with this guy. Cause you know, you're trying to do like how Adam Sandler did, where he put all his boys in the movie. Or you do like Eddie Murphy did back in the day. He put all his people. Or you did like kind of who's another, like Robert Townsend. You're trying to think you're gonna do that, but the thing is, they're only cool with you because they're there right there. Like once they are able to move to the next throng, they're gonna act like they don't even know you. They gonna shit on you. They gonna act like they too good to talk to you. Yeah, but and they can be, and all 7 of these are usually those type of comedians. So like, yeah, stay away from those 7 because those 7 usually end up becoming they usually are number 8. Anyway, that's been my time. I know we stayed on the porch a little longer than I thought, but you know, comedy is something I'm real passionate about. I mean, haven't really had the means to really get back to it like I want to, but once I can, I'ma get it back cracking. But I am going back to it. Y'all know where to find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Petey Mac 10 PETYMAC10. You can find me on TikTok, Petey Mac 89 PETEYMAC, and you just drop the 1 and 0, put an 8 and a 9. Until next week, y'all, be cool, stay calm, get paid. Peace.